Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we're studying the endocrine system, which including the pituitary gland, adrenal gland, thyroid and parathyroid gland, and pineal gland. So we're starting with the pituitary gland. Histologically, we can divide the pituitary gland into two main parts, okay? Anterior part or anterior lobe and posterior lobe. Or we can name it another name, adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. So these two parts are joined together and enveloped by connective tissue capsule. Connective tissue capsules. So I make you a simple diagram to explain the main parts of the pituitary gland. So, adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. Okay, each one of them can we classify or subdivision it. Adenohypophysis is originated from the oral ectoderm, while the neurohypophysis originated from the neural ectoderm. So the adenohypophysis, we can classify it into the pars distalis, pars tuberalis, and pars intermediate. Okay, while the neurohypophysis classify or division into pars nervosa, it's the large portion, and these pars distalis, the large portion at the adeno, okay? Infundibulum, and the last part is called median emesis. Okay, so at this slide we can see the main parts of the pituitary gland. Okay, this part is represented the adenohypophysis, okay, or anterior lobe. And this part is pale than this part is neurohypophysis. At the middle, we can locate the pars intermediate. Pars intermediate is represented a colloid cyst or originated from the retic cyst, lined by simple cuboidal epithelium, containing cells of basophils, okay, and loose connective tissue. Okay, as we see, these are the pars intermediate that's separated between the neurohypophysis. These are the neurohypophysis, it's pale, and these are the adenohypophysis, which is a cluster of cells. A cluster of cells accumulated in its parenchyma. Okay? We have three main types of cells located at the adenohypophysis: chromophobes, chromophils, and folliculostellate cells. Folliculostellate cells. So, at the chromophils also can be divided into basophils and acidophils. Okay? At the red, mainly it's day. At the red or pink, it's acid, and the purple or blue at the basophils. Okay? Each one of these cells are secreted. It's secretory granules Okay, it's a secretory granules secreted a many of hormones like at the acidophils we can secreted the growth hormone and the prolactin, while the basophils it can secreted luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, and adrenocorticosteroid and thyroid stimulating hormone. So all these are at the neuro or at the adenohypophysis. These are the capsules surrounded. Okay, these are the capsule that's surrounded the whole of this gland. Okay. When we coming at the neurohypophysis, okay, neurohypophysis, also we can see a main cells, okay, we can see a hearing bodies and pituicytes. Pituicytes, it's constituting about 25% of a whole neurohypophysis, and the hearing bodies, it's unmyelinated axons. Okay? All these are the capsule and the neurohypophysis, intermediate, pars intermediate, it's a colloid cyst, and these are the adenohypophysis, it's a cyst, or sorry, a cord of cells. Okay. Another slide. Show us the adeno and the neurohypophysis. All these are pancreas. Okay. All these are the adeno with its cells, and this part is a neuro. It's a neurohypophysis. Okay. At the type number 2, it's the thyroid gland. Okay. At the thyroid gland, we can see okay. These are the thyroid. Okay. At the thyroid gland is located at the anterior portion of the neck. Okay. It's also surrounded by a capsule-dense irregular collagenous connective tissue capsule, sending a septa that's divided this gland. These septa are containing a network of blood supply and lymph and nerves. Okay, that supply this gland. So, the main composition of this gland histologically, it's parenchyma containing a main cells. It's called follicular cells. Okay? These follicular cells are surrounding a colloid-filled lumen. So these are a colloid-filled lumen. Each one of these are a colloid. Okay? Lined by the follicular cells. It's a simple cuboidal epithelium. At the periphery, okay, between these colloid and follicular, we can find a parafollicular cells. So we have a follicular and parafollicular cells. These parafollicular cells, also named clear cells or C cells, It's responsible for synthesis of calcitonin. Calcitonin, which is the hormone that's responsible for lowering the calcium level at the blood by inhibiting the bone resorption. Okay? All these are the thyroid. All these are the colloid. So these are the colloid lined by follicular, and at the periphery it's a parafollicular or clear cells. Another slide showing the parafollicular, the thyroid. Oh, at this slide, we can see both of thyroid and parathyroid. Thyroid and parathyroid. Okay? So, this part is represented the thyroid. Previously talking about it. All these are the thyroid gland. The little part, these are located behind the thyroid gland. It's a parathyroid gland, also surrounded by a connective tissue capsule. There's irregular collagenous. And it's parenchyma containing two types of cells, oxyphil cells and chief cells. Okay? Oxyphil and chief. So here, follicular and parafollicular. Here, oxyphil and chief cells. Okay? And at the parathyroid gland, the main characteristic feature, at the old age person, we can see increasing of adipose tissue more than 60%. More than 60%. As we see at the coming slide. This slide, also we can see the thyroid and parathyroid. All these are the thyroid with a colloid, main colloid, and these are a septa that's divided this gland, or these are the colloid of the thyroid. And this part is represented the parathyroid, oxyphil and chief cell. Okay? And as we see, separated of adipose tissue that's increased at the old age. Look at this slide. These are adipose tissue. Also at this area. Also adipose tissue. All these are adipose tissue.